The mom is going, oh, that's my baby, that's my boy, that's my bro. He's gonna make that million, bro. Right? She's going crazy because the girl just got paid, guys. The girl just got paid. But the reason why I busted out laughing is because of the guy on the woman's right.
I've built many startups, most of them have failed, so Bitcoin is exactly the place that I like to be.
We're gonna end it right there. You know, I have the distinct privilege of watching my children, both of them, play outside every day. Let that sink in. I have the privilege of literally watching my children, both of them, every stinking day, every day. I get to watch my kids and engage with them outside every day. That is amazing. And the reason that is amazing, if you haven't grasped, the reason it's amazing is because we live in a time when kids don't play outside every day. But I do. I've modeled that. I work outside every day, in my garage every day. I work and I play every day outside. And that's what I've modeled. And so that for me is natural. That makes sense to me. But I also am not unawares that watching and being able to engage and play with my children outside every day, weekend or weekday after school, I get to watch them play every day outside. It's awesome. And one of the things I also get to see every day is them riding their bikes every day. It is amazing. I used to ride my bike everywhere. I could tell you stories of riding over in New Jersey, Dunbar Drive. I don't mind telling you the address, it doesn't matter. Dunbar Drive, driving over to my friends, the Landers boys, on my bike with my broham, going all around the neighborhood, going all the way over to completely other townships back in the day on the bike. Riding bikes, the best. And so I've talked about this before, but I've encouraged and shown my kids how to do wheelies on their bikes. I'm one of those dads. I'm one of those guys who likes to push my kids to the limit. I like to challenge them to do amazing things, different things. And so my son is always practicing these wheelies. He gets hurt, and I'm always there because I'm always the first one to hear the crash. I'm getting really good, especially if I'm working here. I'm getting really good at hearing and getting off my ass and getting out there and making sure that I am within arm's length if need be, right? But he's constantly improving. I mean, my job is really just twofold. It's number one, to encourage him to lean into it. Don't give up. Keep trying, even if you get hurt, right? My job is to encourage him to continue, to keep trying, but also to be there for the wins and the fails, right? Right? The wins are important. Don't get me wrong. The wins are important. It's great, but man, the lessons, the real lessons, is through the tears. It's through the pain. It's through looking up at your appa, looking up at your dad when you're in pain and seeing him look at you and say, it's okay. Let's do it again. You can do this. Those are the moments that I enjoy the most with my kids, giving them encouragement when they need to, and giving them also a little bit of guidance when they need to. But anyway, my kid is loving doing these wheelies. Anyway, my wife comes out. I'm outside hanging out with the kids, right? And my wife comes outside. and she notices she's noticing how good my son is at doing these wheelies, and she's all shocked. She's like, "Oh wow, it's awesome!" She busts out her phone, taking video for over a minute, exclaiming the greatness of these wheelies. Lots of support. Oh man, it's great, it's great, it's great, right? And just picture me, right? I'm standing there, arms crossed, ironically so, right? As my wife's got her phone, busting out her phone, taking these videos, being like, "Oh my gosh, it's so awesome, great," and I'm standing there, guys. Arms crossed, right? Raised eyebrow, raised eyebrow, kind of looking over at her, kind of out of the corner of my eye. And I finally, I look at her, I'm like, yeah, he's been doing great. He's practicing every day. He's practicing every day. I see him practice every day. I get to see him practice every day. It's so funny. It's funny to me. Have you ever met an accidental superstar athlete? Have you ever met an accidental rock star? Have you ever met an accidental top of their game professional? You've never met an accidental anybody that's successful. You have to believe they practice every day. I always I have had several occasions, guys, my friends. This is just always hilarious to me. This idea of, I get to watch my son practice every daggone stinking day. And then my wife comes out and she's like, "Oh, he's so good." It's like, sister, he's been practicing. I have had at least 2 or 3 times in which I have busted out laughing, like deep howling, belly aching, like laughing, man, as I'm watching like an NFL draft or NBA draft. I think there was twice during an NBA draft and maybe once during an NFL draft. I was watching, and you might say, "Well, what are you talking about? Why are you laughing so hard at an NBA draft or an NFL draft?" And I'll tell you why. The reason is because I'm watching this NBA draft, and right, they're going through speeches, and they're going through whatevers, and they're doing congratulations, and the guy who's just been drafted, getting paid $100 million a year, whatever. He's like going out, he gets up to the microphone and he says, "I just want to let everybody know, I want to thank my mama who's been by my side," and then the camera cuts to her mom, to his mom, right? And his mom's going, "Oh, yeah, that's my boy, that's my baby, that's my baby, that's my boy." And she's going crazy, she's going nuts. And you look to the side, and you see that dude, that guy. He's part of the family. I never know who this guy is. Could be an uncle, could be an estranged father, could be the father, could be, right, a family, another uncle or family friend. I don't know. But you know what that guy's doing? He's not doing what the mama's doing. The mama's going, "Oh, that's my baby, that's my boy, that's my bro. He's going to make that million, bro." Right? She's going crazy because the girl just got paid, guys. The girl just got paid. But the reason why I busted out laughing is because of the guy on the woman's right. He's going like this. Kind of shaking his head, nodding his head. Can you guys see that, right? He's nodding his head slowly. He's clapping. He's with it. He's congratulating the boy. He's congratulating that young man. And you look at that, and you know what I'm immediately thinking about? You know what's going through my mind immediately at that moment? Is that's the brother who's been watching that guy practice every day. He's the one going, "Yep, everyone's excited. And congratulations, man. But I was there every day. I saw him practice every day. I was actually the one that drove him to the courts at 4 a.m. in the morning to get to practice early, to get those drills in. Yep, that was me." Like, that's why I end up busting out laughing on these guys. Because I'm watching this NBA draft, and the mom's going, oh, she's going all crazy, she's going wild, and you see this brother next to her going, yep. That was me, guys. That was me. I'm looking at my wife, and I'm going, Look, I've seen him practice every day. You know, sometimes people ask me why I ship every day. Why do I produce content every day and ship it to the web? I mean, I'm not making any money on advertising. I mean, I'm doing this for free, right? And people ask me this question, like, why do you ship? Why do you do this, right? And the answer is always ridiculously simple. The answer is always ridiculously simple. This is my trade craft. This is my craft. This is how I make money. I'm a communicator. I'm a communicator. I'm a communicator of ideas. I'm a communicator of strategy. I'm a communicator of visions, of future realities. I'm a communicator of encouragement, of tough truths, of my reality, how I see it, how I see the world. Right? That's what I do. I am someone who communicates, I think, pretty effectively the ideas that are in my mind and the things that I have seen and conjured up and be able to create, the ideas that I want to execute on. Right? My best skill is communicating what I have learned. Period. Full stop. That's it, guys. Peter Sadding, my best skill is communicating what I have learned. That's it. I mean, whether through study or vision, right? So a lot of stuff just comes to my brain. But I have studied hard. And I must practice every day. That's why I ship stuff. That's why I create content. That's why I talk into a microphone. Ideas that I think are challenging. Ideas that I think are worth thinking about. Ideas that I think are worth struggling with. Ideas that I think people aren't generally willing to talk about, number one. Number two, things that they might not even have thought about. And number three, things that I've thought about that I think might be helpful to other people. I must practice every day. And even I can improve my communication. And I do. I mean, for those who have been with me through this journey, this communication journey, let's put it that way. For those who've been with me, you've seen, right? I'm constantly trying to improve my communication in multiple different ways, from doing interviews to doing live interviews to doing, interviews on the web, to different formats, to memes, to storytelling, to sermons, to very operational talks, to strategic ideas. I've changed so many different things. I'm constantly trying to learn how to communicate better with different formats, different topics, editing, styles, mediums, themes. I mean, I'm a man of languages. Some of you guys don't know the languages I know. And it might freak you out. But all of this stuff that I practice every day with communication, it all requires that I learn something new. And lucky for me, that I enjoy the process. Keyword, process. I love the process of learning. I love it. I love going from a green bean status of knowing absolutely nothing to being able to effectively communicate what that idea is that I didn't know anything about months ago to someone else and say, this is something that you might be interested in learning about. I guess if I think about it right now, many times I just want other people to be interested in what I'm learning about. I just want people to be interested in what I'm learning about because I love learning about new things. And so here's a saying, and I'll leave you with this, guys. I'll leave you with this. And I wrote this down. I don't know if anyone is quoted in saying this. I wrote this down. It came from my mind, so it seemed fresh to me. But I wrote this. I said, you'll always see improvement in whatever you practice. Makes sense. Duh. But it's a nice reminder, right? You will always see improvement in whatever you practice. My hope for you guys is that you're putting your time into the right things and not spending your time just being a consumer of goods and services. So here's the question, and you can leave a comment below. What's your trade? What should you be practicing daily? This is Peter, the Bitcoin Lambo. If you enjoyed this episode, smash that like button, subscribe, and share with at least one person in your network that you think might benefit. By the way, we also are in podcast format, so you can find us on all your favorite podcast platforms. Peace.